Greetings, friends. My name is Larry, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about my life and about how I encountered the Urantia book and what reading it has done for me. When I was very young, me and my sister, my mother would read to us every day out of the Bible. So I knew of the existence of God, and I understood that. And I joined a church in my early youth at about the age of 12, and I stuck with that church for a long time because they had a lot of truth. And then I reached a point where I understood that there was some errors that they were making. And I ended up ultimately leaving the church. And along with that process, as time went on, I ended up becoming an agnostic. Not sure anymore whether God existed. But I never went to atheism because it was a question I just didn't know the answer to. And then later on in my life, in fact probably about 7 or 8 years ago at this point, somebody introduced me to the Urantia book. They told me about it, they told me about what it was, and I decided that I had to check it out. So I went out to Amazon.com and I read everything there that they had that I could just read at the Amazon site. And when I had done that, I was so impressed, so amazed. I had to order the book. And when I got the book, I went into the book and I started looking at areas of the book that the Bible doesn't say very much at all about. Like, for example, I went to the section on the Lucifer rebellion. And then after that, I went and read about Adam and Eve. And I thought, this is amazing. This stuff has got to be true. And then I settled in for the long haul and went to the beginning of the book and read it all the way through, cover to cover. And since then, I've read it through all the way from the beginning to the end, cover to cover, probably at this point about 4 times, spending interim periods going through the book and concentrating on specific sections that I wanted to understand better. I will say this about the Urantia book. It is, in its own way, self-verifying. And this is why. This is the fundamental reason why this is true. Because the book is written from the perspective of out there, from heaven, all the way down to where we are on earth. And a human being could not do that. And a whole group of human beings could not do that because we're limited to understanding what's out there from where we are. But this book was not written from where we are. So anyway, what the Urantia book did for me is it restored my faith. Not only that, it multiplied it greatly. It eliminated all my fears. And I will say this about the Urantia book. The Urantia book, in my opinion, and I say this boldly, is the most important book on the face of the earth to date. That's right. The most important book on the face of the earth to date. Well, I read the book alone and was essentially alone with the book for a number of years. And then I found this group out on Facebook called Living Truths. And I go, hey, that's about the Urantia book. I might find other people out there who are like-minded, other people who know things that I don't quite know. Then we can bounce off of each other and we can learn more from one another. And I joined that group and I found a lot of friends who helped me and who I helped too because of my knowledge. And I would advise any of you to go check out Living Truth and see all of the things that we have to offer at this point, because we're trying to spread the good news of the urinage book. This is something that very much needs to be done in our world, because our world desperately needs this now. I want to thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope that you will make the same discoveries I have. Blessings upon you, my friends.